The Sooners will host a regional, but possibly not a super regional. I'm Barry Trammell along with OU writer Brooke Pryor. This is a OU update. And Brooke, the NCAA softball pairings have been announced, and the Sooners a number 10 national seed, which gives them a home regional starting this weekend, but no super regional if Auburn wins down in Auburn, Alabama.
Exactly, and it looked like for a little bit that OU may make a run for that 8 seed. However, they started out in the RPI at number 11 before the Big 12 softball tournament, and were only able, from the seeding, it looks like only able to move up a spot, which means that they got the 10 seed. It seems like Patty Gasso and her team obviously really disappointed in this. They thought they did enough during league play. I mean, they went 17-1, which on its face looks really good, but when you look at the overall RPI of the Big 12 softball league, it's just not there, not the way that the SEC was. They got all 13 teams in. OU just didn't have enough to overcome the slow start to the season where they lost back-to-back games to Cal Poly, which I believe at that time was ranked 61 in the RPI. So that early season, they had tough scheduling, did not go well for them, and weren't able to make up for it in conference play.
Let's talk about the regional in Norman. Arkansas, Tulsa, North Dakota State joining the Sooners in Norman. What does this regional shape up as?
Well, I think it works out well for OU. OU beat Arkansas earlier this year. North Dakota State, obviously this is not the same team from 2009, but back in 2009, I believe what I read is that North Dakota State beat OU in the Norman Regional and was the team that exited that regional victorious. So OU is very familiar with this program. They're familiar with their upset tendencies, I guess you could say. So I don't think OU is going to take any of these teams lightly. I don't know how crowd size will bode with having Tulsa. I think that Tulsa could have more of a home atmosphere maybe than some of the other teams in regionals. You know, Oklahoma State having to go to Florida, they're not going to have a lot of fans that travel the way that maybe Tulsa would.
Is this Oklahoma team, you saw them in the Big 12 tournament, is this Oklahoma team primed to make another run? They're the defending national champions.
You know, I think so. I think looking at the makeup of this year's team, their biggest issue right now is the offense. They don't have the bats the way that they did a year ago. The pitching, however, looks pretty superb. Paige Parker is back. She's their ace, their junior ace. But the thing that makes OU so dangerous and primed potentially for another run is that along with Paige Parker, they have another Paige Lowry, a transfer from Missouri, who has been able to come in, close games, get some saves. And then they also have added a freshman in Mariah Lopez, who has really added the depth to this pitching staff that they didn't have a year ago. That's been one of the biggest takeaways that Patty Gasso has mentioned time and again, is that this year's OU team has a healthier and a mentally rested and physically rested Paige Parker, and that could be the difference in making another run.
Thanks, Brooke. We appreciate it. Stay tuned for further OU softball coverage here on News OK and every day in the Oklahoman.